First Things First is sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to First Things First. We are back. I'm Shannon. That is Nick Wright. Vincent Goodwill is joining us this morning.
Vinny, thank you for last week, brother. Helping us out. Appreciate you.
Hope you learned something.
What would I have learned? Oh, no, I didn't. I mean, I couldn't watch. I was out of the country. But I hear on good authority you did a wonderful job, which, I'll be honest, was a little shocking, but I'm glad you
Oh,
and
that's
it's good to have you here today.
Can I say the tan looks fantastic on you?
Thank you so much, Jenny. You look well rested.
Thank
Hope you had a wonderful week as well.
You too, and that's where the compliments will end because we got a full Monday slate to get to, and we're going to start with the game that lived up to its big billing, the Lakers and the Celtics. And here we go. The rivalry dating back years between these two teams, and we'll pick this up late. 30 seconds to play. Lakers down 1, and LeBron turns around, nails the 15-footer. He finished with 29 points, 8 boards, 9 assists. That was probably the most important bucket of the game. 7 seconds to go. Lakers up by 2. Anthony Davis misses the free throw. Celtics going the other way. A chance to win or tie. But Jason Tatum called for the offensive foul with less than a second to go. Huge day for Tatum. He couldn't believe it, though. The shot didn't get off in time anyway. Lakers escape with the 2-point win. All right, let's dive in and break it down. Nick, start with you. Were you impressed by the Lakers, or were you worried that Tatum almost single-handedly beat this team yesterday?
Well, what is there not to be impressed with the Lakers at this point? Listen, Jason Tatum was sensational and good for him. His second career 40-point game. One came earlier this year, I think, against the Pelicans. He continues to be a guy that looks like one day could be one of the 15 best players in basketball. Maybe one day be one of the 10 best players in basketball. He's not yet a star, but he is trending that way. And great game by him when the Celtics didn't have Kemba Walker. But the Celtics are a really good team, an overachieving team, and a team that is exactly where they are most comfortable the last 30 years if they don't have Kevin Garnett, overachieving with a defined ceiling. And they played really well last night, or yesterday afternoon. But of course, I should be impressed by the Lakers. They have the best player in the conference by a mile. They have the defensive player of the year probably. Maybe Giannis will win it, but I think Anthony Davis will. They have the best record in the conference by a mile. They have the best closer in all of basketball by a mile. And by the way, I don't know if anyone cares because I know we have been told the regular season no longer matters. It's just foolishness. Who gives a damn? They have the longest winning streak in basketball right now, crossing over before the All-Star break and since the All-Star break. The Lakers' path to winning a championship, Vince, is LeBron and Anthony Davis play great. And last night, LeBron and Anthony Davis, 29 plus 32, you carry the one. That's 61 combined points. They, I think, scored every single point for the Lakers in the final 8 minutes. So I don't know what there is not to be impressed with, and I don't know why people would be concerned that a good to very good Boston team gave them a hell of a game on national television yesterday afternoon.
Well, I would actually tend to agree with you, but there are some caveats here.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, Nick, are you a letter of the law person or a spirit of the law person?
I'm a spirit of the law person.
Okay, if you're a spirit of the law person, then some of the refereeing yesterday left a lot to be desired. You don't give a technical to Brad Stevens because he's out of the coaching box and everything else with that length of time left.
Agreed. And Anthony Davis missed that free throw, right?
The point.
The refereeing was
point
poor.
of it.
Agreed.
Right? And the out of bounds play that went off of Anthony Davis's tip of his fingertips. I'm not going to be too upset about that. Those things happen. And I tend to agree with you that the Lakers, the name of the game is to win games, especially as you're getting out of the All-Star break. I'm not one for style points, but I am one for defined roles. There are some things that I saw that I liked with the Lakers that have answered some questions for me. And Nick, you're not going to like some of the things that I'm saying because it doesn't give you the ammunition for my quote-unquote anti-Lakers agenda. But the way that they defended Tatum in the last 6 minutes, where defensively, they zoned up a little bit. They got him at the top of the key. Kuzma played with length. LeBron was there off the ball. Like, they're starting to get a little bit of identity defensively where even if a guy is hot, you can start looking at them and saying, okay, we have a strategy to be able to shut these guys down late. Now, LeBron being a closer, I don't know about that because closers have to be able to make free throws consistently late in games. And LeBron is still, at this point, surprisingly, still tinkering with how he wants to shoot free throws at the line with his form and everything else, the jumpers and everything else. I thought he was defended pretty well by Jaylen Brown late, and those are the type of defenses that he's going to see in the playoffs. So I'm going to tend to agree with you, but if Boston had Kemba Walker yesterday, that could be a completely different ball game at least in the last 6 minutes. Because you have more than one shot creator.
More than one shot creator, and Tatum didn't. I think he scored his 41st point with a shade over 3 minutes left, and he ended with 41. So he obviously, you mentioned the final 6 minutes, final 3 minutes, shut down entirely. And people, whether or not that was an offensive foul on Jason Tatum, as Jenna mentioned, doesn't much matter. The shot's no good either way.
Well, the KCP play before that, where he was pushed out of bounds, that caused a technical foul, that was one that should have been going his way with the game still in the balance.
If there's a question of, was the officiating poor at the end of the game, I would say yes. If there's a question of, did the officiating cost the Celtics the win, I would say there's no way to know that. It probably late in the game went 60-40 in the Lakers' favor, but I don't know what would have happened had the calls gone the other way. What I do know is the Kemba Walker point, which I think is the spirit of Jenna's question, which is the Celtics are without their some would say their best player, probably up to this point this year, their second best player, because Tatum's played so well, and they play that close. In the NBA, for a game, missing your guy or one of your guys very often doesn't hurt you that much. It's over the long stretch of time. Now, there are certain teams that cannot play without their guy. The Celtics aren't one of them. The Celtics are a team that for the last few years have had too many quality role players, right? Too many guys that probably need minutes. So it's not shocking to me that without Kemba Walker that they were able to play really well yesterday, because it means more shots for Tatum when he's playing really well. It meant more shots for Gordon Hayward, which obviously didn't work out well for them in that regard. But over the course, if these teams played in the finals, which they won't, but if they did, if Kemba Walker's out for the series, then obviously the Celtics have 0% chance. They'd have 0% chance anyway, but they would have a better chance if he played over the course of a series. One game, though, I think is not a fair representation of that.
Frank Vogel said after the game, he liked the fact that the Lakers won this kind of game, a close game, a really intense game, perhaps like a playoff tune-up, if you will. How much do you think the Lakers actually... Look, I think if the Celtics won, it would have been a bigger deal than had the Lakers won. But how much did they need a game that came down to the wire that really pushed them, now 2 wins after the break?
I think it starts to build a level of trust, not necessarily with the players with each other, but also from the players to the coaching staff. When you have to change up your strategy late and you have to zone up because a guy's got 39 and you're afraid that he's going to get 50, you're going to have to believe in the schemes and some of the other things that you're not necessarily inclined to believe in during a regular situation. And it puts LeBron and Anthony Davis in situations where they have to rely on each other. They have to basically play a 2-man basketball. Anthony Davis didn't play well on the inside in the fourth quarter, but from the outside, he was hitting jumpers. He was getting to the lane. He'll get calls. Those things will matter. So I do think in terms of a playoff tune-up, in terms of defining roles and stuff, I do think that was a positive.
But there's going to be a segment of the basketball population, of fans, some media, whomever, that no matter what the Lakers do throughout the regular season and throughout the first round of the playoffs and throughout the second round of the playoffs and then throughout the third round of the playoffs until we get to Game 6 of the NBA Finals where the Lakers are up 3-2 on Milwaukee,
why even play the games today? Goodness.
That there is the, well, yeah, but with the Lakers. I will never understand it, why there was this narrative push when you have the reigning best player of the last, ever, and the best player who has been consistently the best player in the league over the last decade, paired up with one of the best young big men in basketball, and one of the best young players in basketball, young-ish players in Anthony Davis. The narrative going into the season was, yeah, they'll be good, but the team across town with the Clippers, they will be great. And all year long, we've heard these different levels of reasons to discount what the Lakers are doing. The beginning of the year was something I'd never heard, Vincent. It was a MAC football question. It was, you know what, their strength of schedule isn't good enough. Then it was, well, actually, they're trying too hard early. And now that those things are by the wayside, it's, well, these things actually don't matter. The regular season, it's foolishness. And now it is close wins where the best player in the world hits the game winner. It's actually a bad sign. It's a bad sign LeBron hit that jump shot because he missed the free throw before and they should have been up 7. So we're just going to continue to change the rules for one team in LA and do the exact opposite on the other team in LA, which is no matter how many spots they are behind the Lakers, no matter how many losses they rack up, they'll be fine because they have Kawhi Leonard. And it'll be very interesting to see how this plays out over the next
I was almost with you. Nick, you were right there. You had come in this morning with like a dose of act right. And then you come in and play with this victim mentality.
There's no victim mentality.
Yes, Nick, you have started it. The entire world is against the Lakers, the #1 market, the #1 franchise, the sentimental favorite. You have created this fantasy world where nobody wants the Lakers and by proxy LeBron to win when that is nowhere near the case. Nobody wants to see the Clippers in the NBA Finals. That's not the heritage franchise of the NBA. Nobody's creating excuses for them. I know we're going to get into that a little bit later, but you can't play it's too early to play the victim mentality.
I'm not playing the victim mentality.
It's a little early.
I love it. I love the fact that somehow the Lakers with LeBron and Anthony Davis get to legitimately tell themselves, guys, people really don't believe in us. I think it's great for the league.
Nobody's saying that.
Okay.
Anyway, we have an entire show to dive even further into this, which we will. But coming up, stick to basketball. Did Giannis send a message to Joel Embiid this weekend? That's next on FS1. You can always check us out on the Fox Sports channel. That's on Sirius XM. We'll be right back.
So you changed your champion.